How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Dayvy livestream. This livestream is going to revolve around Game Week 24. A little bit of a blank game week if you guys do own those Chelsea assets, those Brighton assets. So just make sure that you don't have those in your starting 11, or at least if you do, you have a strong bench. Now, first of all, just tell me if the audio is sounding fine. You will notice that I have updated the graphics for the stream. So if you guys are enjoying them, feedback is always welcomed. If you don't like them, if you think they trash, just put it in the comments down below and I'll try and change it for the next time we do go live. But hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. A little bit of a weird deadline, so thanks for joining me. I know that you guys have busy lives, so just taking any time out of your day is appreciated. And as I said, the new graphics, hopefully over this international break, have improved slightly. A lot of comments about the white space, and it was a little bit distracting. So now we've got some green space, some blue space, and I've decided to wear a nice shirt that blends in with the background, which is probably not the best fashion choice. And in terms of the rest of the stream, we've got the Starry Stump here, so hopefully that brings us some good luck. If you guys remember last week, we didn't have it, and then what goes and happens, Dennis goes and gets a red card. So hopefully Kevin De Bruyne captain as of now. Hopefully that brings us some good luck. I did post a poll for you guys to go vote on. A new feature, actually. I think that we used to have polls over on YouTube, but then they took them away and then they brought them back. So now we have a poll. I just asked you guys about captaincy. As you guys can see, 52% are captaining Man City right now. I don't exactly know if just my channel, maybe lots of you guys do own a Foden, a Cancelo, a De Bruyne, maybe on other channels. There'll be other percentages, but right now, Man City are leading the way 52%, and then we have Liverpool coming in with 28%. How many of those is going to be or are going to be Mo Salah? I mean, that's going to be quite an interesting one to go for. Okay, at the Whiskey Gang, low audio but balanced. If you turn it up, is it still quite bad? Because I can always pump myself up a bit on the streaming software if it's sounding a little bit too soft, but I also don't want to kind of blast your ears with loud audio. Thanks, Raz. Appreciate the kind words, brother. In terms of questions, guys, so let me start off with my team. I'll probably repeat this throughout the video or throughout the deadline stream, but my team is pretty set. The only thing I've kind of changed is I've brought in Josh King for Douglas Luiz, just because I think the ownership in terms of Josh King, top 10k, that's kind of the ranks we're looking at right now. He's very highly owned, and therefore if he does get a goal against my defender Sufal, I just want those points. So that's why I've got Josh King here. Douglas Luiz doesn't have the highest ceiling in the world, but has quite a good floor. 2-3 points is probably the expectation there. But I think I'm going to go for Josh King here, and that's going to be fine. So Archie saying you sound really quiet. So also if you turn me to the maximum volume, am I still quiet on your side? Because then I can always just pump myself up a bit more in terms of the decibels. Melanie saying my nickname is Meme. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for reminding us about that. Do you think Dennis will start? So Ryan, it's actually an interesting thing that I was thinking about today. Because we obviously didn't have Dennis against Burnley, Roy Hodgson's first game, we don't exactly know the formation he's going to go for. But my opinion, I don't think you can bench Dennis. Just because of Watford's point of view. I think if I stand to be corrected, Watford's highest goal scorer this season, I don't understand why you would bench Emmanuel Dennis. I don't think Josh King will be benched though, so I do think you might look at maybe a Dennis on the left or the right, or maybe we could always see a 2 up front. Don't really understand what Roy Hodgson's going to do. And as we know, he's more of a defensive manager, so 2 up front is not the worst kind of formation for that in the world. Do we know about Rafinha? So James, I would kind of say that Rafinha should be fine. I think that was probably only a knock from international break. I wouldn't be taking him out. I wouldn't be bringing him in. That's what I would probably say. So audio is a bit low on my side. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to put myself up by 2 decibels. So maybe this is your warning. Turn me down, and then I will, when we come back, then we'll see. So I'm going to turn myself up now. I'm going to mute, and then I'll come back, and then maybe just adjust your audio. That's what I'm going to say. Okay, so I should sound a little bit louder now. I hopefully haven't blasted you guys' earphones or headphones or something like that. So just tell me, does it sound better now? Not really the clearness. Thanks, Brandon, for that one. It's more of the kind of a volume. That's what some people are saying. Archie's saying it's okay, I have cotton buds in. So if you can listen to some of that advice, maybe loosen the cotton wool a little bit more. That just reminds me of Get Out. I don't know why. Just that scene from Get Out. A replacement for Dennis. So Prajesh, now we can go and talk about my transfer that I could potentially do. So now you've spoken about the team, I know I mentioned that it's a pretty set and forget team, pretty straightforward. But what I might do still is I might take Dennis or Josh King out for Edouard. That's what I'm kind of thinking about. That's why I asked, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you would have seen, I asked Crystal Palace fans, what do you think about him? Is he going to start? Is he not? The main concern I do have about the Crystal Palace striker slash left-right winger, sometimes he plays on the wing, is that now with Wilfried Zaha coming back into the lineup, he has to start, I think. Olise's got some great form. We also have Mateta with great form right now. So, I mean, there could be some rotation in that forward department. I do think Edouard's the main choice, but I'm a little bit worried about maybe Benteke in the background there. And the players I bring in now have to play because with the upcoming blanks, the doubles, I want a full 90-minute player. I mean, 65 is probably fine, which he has been getting, but I just think Josh King, Dennis, they basically nailed to start, and that's why I might hold this transfer off for next week and then see how it goes. Mikey's saying it's been a long break. It has, brother. It's been a long break from streaming, actually. So apologies if I'm a bit rusty here, but hopefully you guys did enjoy the break. I won't lie, it's always nice to have a little bit of a break from FPL just because we focus on it so much. I also managed to get some work in, which I'm sure my employer will be happy about. Duran also saying great to be back. Sebastian saying I don't own Bruno. Is Bruno a must-have? I don't think Bruno's a must-have this week. I think he's a must-have potentially next week. But if you guys do have Ronaldo, I just think you can captain him as well. If you don't have a Ronaldo or Bruno, you might consider them next week. But if Mo Salah's back this week, I mean, it's going to be the Salah show from now to the end of the season anyway. So you might just skip Bruno and go Salah. Are you set with your captain light race? I am. I'm tempted by Bowen. Sorry for hitting the mic. I am tempted by Bowen, but I just think De Bruyne it's a no-brainer, I think. That doesn't mean he's going to be the highest scorer, but I just think he's the safest option in my own team. And he actually has quite a differential. So if you guys want to go more safe, I would say Jota or Bowen, in my opinion. Bring in Bowen, bring in De Bruyne or Salah. Ahmed, I would say out of those two, I would prefer Bruno added in. I think if you're going to bring in De Bruyne or Salah, you got to go Salah now. I mentioned it to a couple of people though. If you're going to bring in a midfielder, I would bring in Bruno this week, and then I would take him to Salah in game week 26 just because you're going to captain Bruno next week. But if you're going to go De Bruyne or Salah, I would go Salah now that he's back. I wouldn't expect him to start. My prediction is that he will play, but I think it's going to be limited minutes. It's either going to be starting, coming off 50, 60 minutes, or it's going to be coming off the bench. But this is a Leicester side that is not defending well at the moment. I don't know if I'd captain him. That's a bit risky for me, but I mean, if you guys want to go for it 100%. The thing you must understand about this week is that captaincy is going to be massively split. Yes, you will have a Bowen and a Jota over 100% effective ownership, but you're not going to be punished in the same manner as a Mo Salah kind of 180% ownership. So it's an interesting week here, guys. I'm actually looking forward to it. I just hope that we come out of it with a green arrow. Do you think you'll do that wide move in all honesty? So Patrick, today it was a move that I only thought about recently. That's just to be honest. I don't know if I'll do it. I think I'm away from it a little bit just because I'm worried about rotation, and I think I might just go into this week banking and then move it on. But I'd say I probably won't do it, Patrick, now. So if you have to drop off, have to go somewhere else, want to watch another stream, I can understand. But that's my honest opinions. I don't think I'll do that move this week. Prabrash saying, good luck from Nepal. Thank you, too. What are your plans this week? So plans this week in terms of real life, just work. But in terms of my FPL team, nothing at the moment. And then next week, I'll probably bring in Cucurella for Alonso. And then take 2 free transfers into potentially blank game week 27 just to sort things out. But I do kind of have 1 transfer to spare, and that's why I was considering the Edouard move. Karen saying, hi Dayvy, Foden or Bowen for captaincy? Best of luck. I would go Bowen. I know it's the early kickoff, so if you guys are superstitious on that one, I think Bowen is a better option in my opinion. I think Foden, there might be some rotation there, and I think if you're going to captain a Man City option, got to be Cancelo or De Bruyne. I mean, Foden could do well, but I just think Bowen's a really safe, nice option. Vibe saying you're transferring in this week. I'm probably not going to make a transfer. We're going to roll it. I don't know if you guys agree with me. I think the team looks pretty fine. Zamo's saying, help me out with captaincy. Bruno, Bowen, Jota, or Foden? I would say Bowen or Jota, in my opinion. I don't know about Jota. I think that, yes, it's going to be probably a free scoring game, but I favor Bowen for some reason. If that's why my vice captain's on him. I just think that my second favorite option this week after KDB is Bowen. But I think there's a multitude of captaincy options this week that probably will all hopefully return. I think Trent is a bit of a risky one for me. I'd rather captain Cancelo. But I think De Bruyne, Jota, Bowen are fine. You even have another alternative if you want to go Fernandes, Ronaldo. But I think I would probably stick within that vicinity of Liverpool, Man City, or West Ham. Alonso to Digne. Linga, I've seen a lot of people make that move. So that's a perfectly fine move to do. As him saying, why Digne over Cucurella? So Cucurella has that double game week. And Brighton also have some potential nice fixtures after that. However, if we do get news about an Aston Villa double in 27, then I might make that move instead. It's just that's my current thinking on it. Son or Bruno? And Nick, I would say Bruno just because of the double game week, but if you're not going to captain Bruno next week anyway, then Son could be a cheeky differential. I've seen a couple of people captain Harry Kane or Son. I think that all of those are fine options to go for. I just think I'm a double game week sort of guy, so I'm always going to be favoring that. Prajesh saying game week 26, Salah for De Bruyne, wild bet. That's my locked in transfer basically for game week 26. So the thing about having De Bruyne and Fernandes that I'm quite happy about is that it gives me some flexibility. So I can either take De Bruyne or Fernandes out, but right now the Man City fixtures after 25 get a little bit tougher, and there's always rotation with Man City, so that's why I'll do KDB to Salah probably, but I could always do Fernandes as well. The one thing about Fernandes is that I will be looking out for early team news, because he did have this knock currently yellow flagged, so we could potentially get some early team news, because obviously United do play tonight. Will Livramento start? He could, but I don't know if I would start him this week. If you need him to start, then I mean, you can just go for him. He's been training, but they are playing Spurs, who I favor. Just checking on the poll again, we now have 363 votes, 55% still for Man City. Liverpool has crept up a bit to 27%. As I've said, it will be actually interesting to see, maybe we can do that later on, how many of those options are actually Mo Salah. Wildcard, so wildcard's a bit rough. I know there was a couple of comments on my wildcard draft video saying how bad it was. But this week is a very hard week to wildcard in my opinion. And that's why I think I would try and keep it for later on the season. I think most people's teams should be fine. I know there might be some changes you want to make. But I think most of the options that are quite popular this week still have great fixtures. Ryan, would you play King ahead of Reguilon, Ives, Soufal? I would play Reguilon 100%, Ryan. That's an easy decision. I'm perfectly fine with not playing the Watford strikers. They are pretty bad. I'm just going for King, as the option I would have played instead is going to be Douglas Luiz. Now, Dennis versus King is in a whole nother debate, but we're going for the stats versus the form in this one. Optimus Prime saying, boss, I have a bench dilemma. Who would you bench? Rafinha, Digne, or Dennis? I would bench Dennis, probably. With Leeds, they are quite an attacking side. And with Dennis, I mean, Watford are up in the air at the moment. Pratik saying, hi Dayvy, between Bruno, Ronaldo, and Bowen, who would you captain? I would captain Bowen. Light Ray saying, 400 people watching, give the stream a like. As I always say, it's not forced, but it is appreciated if you guys like the stream. Helps you out with the algorithm a little bit. However, I don't think there's too many people wondering the YouTube homepage for a deadline stream, as I'm pretty sure most people will go for it. Pratik, I just answered your question. You gave me a super chat, so I do appreciate it, but I would go for Bowen, brother. Play Gray or Dennis? I think you go with the Mari Gray. Under maybe a Lampard, you could have a new manager bounce, although they already have had their new manager bounce, I feel. But Newcastle aren't great defensively, so. Yarmolenko saying, Dayvy, your ranks are not getting green. Why did you decide to grow your mustache? So, Yarmolenko, it's pretty much because I just forgot to shave. I've kind of lost the good luck from the mustache, I feel. G-Bell saying, Sup Dayvy, been a little on everyone related since the last game week. No idea what to do. F in chat. So G-Bell, I'm pretty sure your team is fine. I think you've sent it to me a couple of times and it's always looked fine. So don't worry about that one. Also, Will Collinson with, so both you have your new member or legend, I should say, stars. So hopefully you enjoy them. A bit of better quality, I'd say. So Will's asking for the best 3 captaincy options. I would say De Bruyne, Bowen, and Jota. That's what I would say. Now with De Bruyne, you could always go with a Cancelo. And with a Bowen, I wouldn't go Antonio, but with a Jota, maybe a Salah, Alexander-Arnold. But I think just on paper, De Bruyne, Bowen, Jota is my top 3. Pradib saying, Son for Rafinha this week or roll the transfer? Son's an interesting one. It's quite an upgrade because of the price difference. Rafinha does have a double coming up, not the best double in the world. But, I mean, Son, I don't know about the Spurs assets. I mean, this week's fine. If you want to captain Son, then, I mean, it makes it even easier. But if you look at, they've got Wolves up next, not a great fixture. They then have Man City, which is a single game week in my opinion. But then they have Burnley, which is fine. Then they have Leeds. So, I mean, it's a fine transfer to do. I mean, as long as your plan for Salah is also fine. I just worry that if you're taking out Rafinha, you might not have a Salah plan. Also, apologize, I just moved the screen. I'm not used to having this setup. So if you guys could not see anything, I do apologize for that one. Vibe saying, where are you from? I'm from South Africa. By the flag. I managed to put my flag up there. Rafa and Reza saying, you're going Salah this week, bro. I heard he is starting. So Rafa Reza, I don't know if he's starting, but it wouldn't surprise me. Let's just say that. And I'm not going to be going from this week. I probably won't go from next week either. As a Liverpool fan, I'm going to be hiding behind the couch. But I think I'm going to go from 26. No worries, Will. Thanks for the question. It was actually quite a good one. I appreciate it. Usama saying, hey, Dayvy, how are you, brother? I'm doing well in yourself. Graphics look awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. What do you suggest on this transfer? Livra out and Luca Digne in. I don't think I would do that move because Southampton have some nice fixtures coming up. But I can understand why you want Luca Digne in. Osama, what I would do is look at your defense, maybe iron out some problems you have with it. But if that's the only thing you could do, then maybe consider it. You're the Elon Musk of FPL. So Elon Musk went to my high school and my primary school. So got a bit of similarity there. Not the one where he was bullied. Please don't get those mixed up. That was Randburg High, I think, if I remember correctly. Need to bench 2 from Madison, Reguilon, DCL, Saka, and White. Bench Madison, play Reguilon, and bench White. I think I'd play Reguilon, DCL, and Saka. G-Ball. Just realized I have 2 free transfers. Then do a free transfer in preparation for the double. That's what I would do. Console Tomiyasu out for Luca Digne. I would keep Tomiyasu just because, as far as I know, George, I don't know if he's back from injury. Maybe check that first. What I can do is I can quickly take a squiz and see if he actually is back. Because if he's obviously injured for a long time, then that doesn't make sense. He really wanted to, he tried. So he'll be out for a couple of weeks. I think take Tomiyasu out then. Unfortunately, I think we got an update from, I don't think we got an update from Arteta this week, but I mean, if he said he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, I would probably take Tomiyasu out. Rafa saying, are you going to do a transfer or going to sleep? So Rafa Reza, understand a little bit of a weird time at this deadline stream. I would say go to sleep. Hopefully you have sweet dreams. I probably won't do a transfer this week. The only one I was considering is Josh King or Dennis out for Eduard, but I'm kind of put off that move slightly. First sub, King or White? I would go with Ben White. George, have you got any more plans for this game week? Evan, JB, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I don't have any other plans for this week. As I mentioned, only thing maybe Eduard, but I don't think so. Unless we get news about maybe a Watford lineup, but I don't think we will. We might though. They play the first game. Gary, you're not tempted to bring Digne in for Alonso this week? So Gary, I was considering it, but I also do like Cucurella next week for that double. So that's why I'm slightly edging towards maybe just banking. I know that there is a chance that they do keep a clean sheet, Aston Villa, but I just don't know. I mean, it is against Leeds. Leeds are somewhat of an attacking side. Haven't been that great this season, but best Foden replacement, Matthew. I would not replace Foden. I would keep, like, any Man City players you have, just keep them. It's so hard to do that with a Man City asset, but I think you have to with these next 2 coming up. What is your chip strategy? Optimus Prime, go and watch my video that I released yesterday. That's my advice. Now, the only reason I'm saying that is that I went in quite a lot of depth there, so you'll understand it. Last number saying fellow South African, yes, Todd, Jose Sarr or Pickford. So Everton playing Newcastle. Newcastle have actually surprised me from an attacking point of view. So I can understand why there's a little bit of a dilemma there. But I think you almost... Look, I think that Saar will make more saves than Pickford will. And I think I trust the Wolves defense slightly more. So I would say go with Saar, but I can understand last number why you're having a little bit of controversy there. No worries, Rafa and Reza. Hey Dayvy, webcam is back. Nice. So Zodiac, I always have my webcam on for streams. I think it's a nice little happy medium. Sorry for hitting my desk again. I think it's a happy medium there. I get the pros of recording without a webcam. It makes my rendering time a lot easier, recording the videos a lot easier, but then you guys can see my face, which might be a bad thing, might be a good thing for deadline streams. So let me know what you guys think about that. Are you fine with it, or do you think I should bring the webcam back for the videos? I personally don't think it matters too much. I mean, I think I got the same views when I had a webcam and I didn't. So Jared saying, who would you bench between Antonio Watkins and Ben White? I'd bench Ben White because the ceiling's low on his side. Unfortunately with Ben White, you're probably going to get a clean sheet and maybe some bonus points, but maybe with the Antonio Watkins, the ceiling's a little bit higher in my opinion. So Jared, that's what I would do. George saying, keep up the good work, thank you. Remove DCL Antonio for Edouard. I think I'd keep both of them, George. Unless we got news that DCL was out injured, but Lampard this week said it's cool. Zodiac, I did not do the transfers. I've made no transfers and probably going to just bench it. Jacques saying free hit draft, please. Are you free hitting on this game week? That's insane. What I will kind of do is I'll say I would do Cancelo, Diaz, De Bruyne, Trent, Jota. I'd still keep Bruno Fernandes. I'd keep Bowen, Antonio. I'd say Edouard. And I'd probably I'd go for a 3-5-2, and I'd try and squeeze Olise in that that midfield as well. That's just off the top of my head, but it's a little bit of a strange week to free it, but I mean, every team is different. What changes are you making, bro? Rebuild FC, currently none. I'm going to roll. Nice little boring week. I mentioned it in the stream announcement message that it's fortunate. I'm not, the team's pretty straightforward. Now watch, we're going to get some news about Bruno Fernandes being benched or something, but currently I can answer all your guys' questions because I know what I'm going to do. Let's just put it that way. Frederick saying, why don't you play Dennis over Soufal? So my current thinking now is that I do think West Ham keep a clean sheet or at least have a good chance of it. And therefore I'm saying, okay, I want Soufal, and if Watford do score, I want some coverage there. But I don't trust that Watford attack. Here is saying, are you married? I'm not married. I'm only 23. I don't know if that's an old age or a young age, but I think I'm quite young to be married. But there might be those of you in chat who are like 18 and married. But no, I'm not married here. Archie, I'm married to FPL, let's say that. Not sure if it's my phone, but your video looks so pale, like it's max brightness, Archie. I don't know. When I look here on screen, it looks fine. I don't know. Maybe it's like the coding or something, like the codex or something. But I think it looks fine. Someone's saying lol. No, I'm not free hitting. Just want to see what players you like. Okay, so I've rattled off some players there. I do like the Crystal Palace, Man City, Liverpool, West Ham assets. Also, with a sprinkle of United there potentially. And that looks fine. It is bright for me too. So that's a little bit worrying. Let me look on YouTube. So on YouTube it looks fine, but I don't know maybe if that's just because like there's some, maybe it's like the mobile app or something. But I'm a little bit stumped on that one, guys. I do apologize if I look super bright. I am quite pasty. I'm quite a pale guy, so maybe that's why. But I think it looks fine on my end. Martinelli or Weghorst to be benched. Burnley play United. I'd probably bench the Burnley striker. Why no Dennis? I'm going for Josh King over Dennis here just because maybe they get a penalty or something like that. Then Josh King might be on it. But I don't know. Looks fine. Ignore the trolls. So so it looks fine, guys. Just create great to and keeping yourself there. Just keep it simple. Thank you, Lightrez. Appreciate the kind words there. Always makes me feel better. You look bright, bro, says Rafa and Reza. But Rafa, you said that you're about to go to bed. So maybe it's your eyes, they're adjusting to going to sleep soon. Maybe that's why I'm bright. Start Lacazette or Gray? I'd start Lacazette. I just trust him slightly more, although it's a tougher game. Bench 1 says Isaac, Antonio Gray or Lucas Moura. I'd probably say Gray, but it's a close one, Isaac. Do you think Tavares will start for Arsenal? So, who starts on the... So, Tierney will play on the left, I feel, and Tomiyasu's the right back. So, Tavares might start on the right back, but I don't know. Zodiac, what does your FPL name mean? So, my name is David, so Dayvy is like a nickname. And then I thought the conventional spelling was too boring. So then I, for some reason, put it like that. But I don't know if you guys ever played like Xbox Live. That was like my name on Xbox Live. So I made it when I was a child. I restarted the stream and it's fine now, says Archie. So maybe restart the stream there, João David. Maybe it looks better. Sometimes White will play right back with... Okay, that is true, says James. Now that I actually remember that. So if Tomiyasu doesn't play, White shifts out and then they have a new centre back. No worries, Rafareza. As I said, sweet dreams. Smith Rowe, Gray, Dennis, King. Who to bench? I would bench King and Dennis. I would go all out. I would say I just bank that Watford blank. Oh, I think he means your team name. Oh, that makes more sense. Apologies for that one. So it basically means it's coming home in Afrikaans. It's a language in South Africa. Yeah, so as Glenn's saying there, it's Afrikaans and it means it's coming home. So the reason I put it here is that this was the name I had, I think, when I finished 22nd. So it's kind of a good luck name here. And that's why I thought, hey, let's change it. And maybe we'll have some good luck. Thanks for that one, JoJo's Revenge 2. Archie saying, Davey, who do you reckon will start, Dennis or Maddison? That's a tough one, Archie. I think for some reason the Liverpool defense hasn't really been up to their usual selves. So that's why I wouldn't actually be that against Leicester scoring in this one. And that's why I'm not too fond of a Trent captain. So Maddison has a relatively good record, at least in the short term against Liverpool. So I would consider starting him. But I could understand if you want to go for Dennis. But I would say start the midfielder, as if they do get points, extra point for a goal. Maybe if they do keep a clean sheet, that sort of thing, then you're looking at some more points. But it's a close one there, but I think it slightly edges to Maddison. I want to bring in Man United defense. I don't know who, Delot, Maguire. I'd say Delot or Delo. Apologies for that one if I'm mispronouncing it. I think those are fine options to do. Luke Oosthuizen saying bench 2, Gray, Smith Rowe, Reguilon, or Delot or Delo. If you have De Bruyne, you can put all your eggs in one basket and go United defense, or you can nullify the risk there and bench the other United defender. I would say I would start Reguilon. I trust that Spurs defense. And if you have to bench 2, I would probably say Smith Rowe, and then I would say I would start Delo. I would start Reguilon, Delo, and bench Gray, Smith Rowe, but it's a tough one there. Luke, unfortunately, that's a tough one. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm almost thinking, okay, let's rethink this. Maybe start Gray. And then bench Delo, but I don't know. As I said, if you want to go conventional, if you want to go conservative, go with benching the other, if you have De Gea, but otherwise bench Gray. Gbel with being a legend for 19 months. So if you guys see, we have a legend now and we have a supporter. Because actually I was discussing this with someone, and YouTube changes the membership prices depending where you are in the world. So for South Africa, we have cheap YouTube prices. So I'm not meant to tell you this, but put on the VPN to South Africa and then become a member. It's cheaper that way. And from the UK, it was mental how much you guys were paying. So I made a tier that was quite a lot cheaper. And then that's called the supporter now. But Gbel's been a legend for 19 months, which is sensational. 2 free transfers and 0.9 in the bank. Best move to prepare for the double game week. Sorry, couldn't keep up with the videos this week. My team ID is... Okay, Gbel, just because you've subscribed for 19 months, I'll do it for you. Okay. So you say you have 2 free transfers and 0.9 in the bank. Who do Brighton play this week? Okay, Brighton blanks. You have to go with Watford. Diaz, Cancelo's fine. White's fine. Trent's fine. That's fine. Yeah, your team's fine. the one thing that I might do is I might do the move of Madison out, and then I would bring in. Who could you bring in then, though? What I actually might do is but then you don't have a double game week player. I would take Madison out for a midfielder that you can afford. Now, the options in midfield might be a little bit scarce, to be honest. Especially ones that you could afford. I might actually just go Gallagher, to be honest. Even though he blanks in the first game, I might just go with him. That's probably what I would do, to be honest. Gallagher or Elise, that's what I would say. G-Ball, thanks again for becoming a member for 19 months. Oh, you have 4.9 in the bank, not 0.9. Can you afford Bruno? Did you have Bruno in your team? Yeah, if you can afford Bruno from Madison, which you might be able to, then I would do that move. But what I would do is wait and see, and then let's... yeah, so just bring in Bruno G-Ball, and then next week you can get that 0.9 somewhere else. Yeah, sorry, I just got a little bit sidetracked by the super chat there, so let's get back. Foden or Cancelo for captaincy? Hamad, I think I'm slightly towards Cancelo. I think that they will keep a clean sheet. Touch wood that they do. That's what I would say. I would say Cancelo slightly, but it's a tough one. Devin saying man's tanned, lads. I think it might just be the filter. Up the contrast a bit. So no worries, G-Bar. Appreciate you subscribing or becoming a legend for 19 months. Dennis to Edward or Watkins to Sparsh. I would go with the Dennis to Edward, preferably. Melvin saying, hey Dayvy, cheap Lacazette replacement, please. Thanks and good layout. Edward's a great option, I think. I'm tempted to go for him, but I just don't know about rotation. But if you want to take out Lacazette anyway, I think that you go with Edward, and then you can also look at someone like a Watkins. Those will be my two favorite. Saint saying best Alonso. I would say Cucurella if you want to take him out. That's my preferred option, but then you have to bench Cucurella. Otherwise, at Luca Digne, Matty Cash, those sort of options are fine. Jackson says 7 minutes, not 7 minutes, it's 15. It's like 15 plus 7, so what, 23 minutes, 22 minutes now. Light Racing getting close to 30k subs. I've been on near 30k subs forever. That's I've been there forever. Gotta go. Cheers, Archie. Thanks for dropping by. Hopefully you have a safe Tuesday. Super chat saying Reece James to Davies or Ain't Nori. Mount to Salah from -4. Mount to Salah's fine. Just be prepared that he might not start. And then I would say Davies. Just slightly. But because the Wolves' assets are more of a long-term future. Abhilash Nandi, thank you for becoming a supporter. I think our first or second support on the channel. So pretty OG there. Adrian saying, just click my wild card. Fingers crossed my team was a wreck. So 100%, if your team was a wreck, then go for the wild card. That's a perfectly fine move to do. As I always say, very team dependent. And you'll kill with the super chat, but no chat or no message. So just drop it and we'll get it. Dennis Hughes or Ain't Nori to play. Hughes is in the Watford midfielder. Don't go for Hughes. It's between Dennis and Ain't Nori for me. I'd probably go for the Wolves defender, to be honest. And thanks again for becoming a supporter. Q-Man saying, would you take a -4 to bring De Bruyne in, Davey? So Q-Man, only if you're going to captain him. And I might be against it. Depends on who you bring in, who you're taking out. Because I think most of us will take out De Bruyne next week or the week after anyways. So if it's for like a 1 week punt, you're going to captain, makes the -4 slightly easier. But other than that, I might hold off on it. So I'm just checking Twitter, guys. Sorry for being antisocial. I'm just trying to see if there is potentially some news about, I saw maybe a Fernandes rest or something like that, but I don't think so. What about captaining Jota? 100%. For me, there's 3 options. There's Bowen, Jota, or Man City assets. Any 3 of those I think is fine. Barry O'Donnell saying, I'm captaining Salah. Wish me luck. I don't think you need luck. Because Salah is insane. So you don't have to have luck. Are you making any subs this week? I'm not making any subs. I'm probably just gonna relax, take it easy. And this is what I'm going to be going in with. Deadline's in 25 minutes or so. I think it's in 20 minutes as of now. I still don't know anything about Man U news. Thanks, Optimus Prime. So you checking Twitter for me? I'd appreciate that if you see anything. That would be much appreciated. And any of you guys, if you want to just keep me updated on Twitter if there is any news. Salah will lost penalty again. Optimus Prime. I don't know about the Salah situation. I do think if he's on the field, he takes one. But now I do think Fabinho is a major risk to that because Fabinho's penalty record is insane. And I just trust him slightly more than maybe a Salah. Gareth saying, how's it, Boychi? I have 2 free transfers. Should I get Smith Rowe out? And for who? Don't want to waste a free transfer. Yeah, so if you have 2 free transfers, Smith Rowe's a tough one there, Gareth, just because they have a double coming up, a really nice double. So I would maybe keep Smith Rowe and just hope that he wins that starting 11 place back. And then maybe use that 1 free transfer somewhere else just to bring in either double game week 26 play or something like that. Light and quick check on Twitter for team news. I'll check maybe with like 5 minutes to go. So no news as of now. And as Optimus Prime is saying, he is on Twitter, so he'll check for us. I've 1 free transfer. Should I do Fernandes to KDB and captain him? Well, I think I would hold. Just because you're going to probably captain Bruno next week. If you don't want to captain Bruno next week, then maybe. But I think that everything in my eyes is pointing to a Bruno captain in game week 25. Last number saying, I know you... Oh, Jose Simon Pickford. I said Saw, but I can understand why you're having a debate there. Last number. Edouard for Antonio. I wouldn't take Antonio out before Watford. Have you won FPL, Dayvy? I have not won. I've come 22nd, though. That's the highest I've got. But I think in my season, the guy who came first was like 200 points above me. So it was kind of a whitewash in my season. So I don't even think that's close, even being 22nd. Thoughts on Cancelo captaincy? I like it, Ivan. It's a little bit risky, but I mean, no risk, no reward. I think behind De Bruyne, my favorite Man City captain this week. What's your transfer plan? So if you're thinking about extending it for more than just this week banking, next week probably taking Alonso out to Cucurella. Then in game week 26 before that, I'm going to take De Bruyne to Salah. And then I'm going to take 2 free transfers into blank game week 27 just so that I can negate it because I'm going to have Ben White. I'm going to have 3 Liverpool assets then. So I want to make it a little bit better then. So that's the current plan. Gay or Reguilon to start? I would start Reguilon. Sartak saying, thanks for doing this. Why are you not moving out Dennis King for Edward? I'm worried about Edward's rotation. Because right now I need to bring in a player that's nailed. And I think with Edward, there might be some rotation there in terms of that starting 11. Because I need a guy that's going to start blank game week 27, going to start both games 26. And I just worry that Edouard might play the first game against Chelsea, then the Watford game they rotate. That's my current thinking. But I mean, I don't want to put you guys off bringing in a Crystal Palace asset. I offered you a couple of beers and you turned me down. I didn't turn you down. I just said soon. So I appreciate the offer. Danny saying Son to KDB or roll the chance and Captain Bowen. Danny, I would roll. Son this week is a fine option to get. Play Bruno this week ahead of Saka, DCL, King, Reguilon, Trent. I would play Bruno instead of them, G-Ball. I would bench King, though, if you want an option to bench. I don't know. Did you guys get news about Bruno, or am I forgetting something? Is Lucas Moura nailed? I don't know if he's nailed. Spurs are hard to kind of call. I wouldn't bring him in, but I wouldn't take him out this week. If you had Foden instead of KDB, who would your captain be? My captain would be Bowen then. I really like Bowen. Like, I don't know. This is one of those random wheel scenarios again where I'm feeling Bowen a little bit. I want to captain him as well, but I think De Bruyne is a no-brainer for me. And I just hope that the ownership or effective ownership isn't too high. Satak saying, Guiz against Norwich or Ramsdale against Wolves? I'll go with Ramsdale because he doesn't have to make any saves and he still gets bonus. That's who I would go for. And Norwich have picked it up recently. Worth downgrading Ronaldo, already own KDB. Worth downgrading Ronaldo, already own KDB. Keep Ronaldo this week. Ryan, it depends who you're going to bring in, I guess. Because Ronaldo could be your captain next week, to be honest. John Doe saying, who's the best to play out of these three? King, Reguilon, or Gray? I would go with Reguilon. I just trust that Spurs defense quite a lot. I would say Reguilon, Gray, King in that order. That's from preference down. Is Ben Rama going to start instead of Antonio, you think? I think Antonio starts this week. He's trained, which, I mean, if he's training, he should be fine. I don't really understand why you would bench him. I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about David Moyes. Antonio to Edouard, I don't think I would do that. No worries, Satak. Thanks for the kind words. No worries, John. Thanks for the question. Cancelo, De Bruyne, or Bowen in for captain. So, Akash, if you look at my team here, I've got De Bruyne, Bowen, and Cancelo, and you can see my order. So, I've gone for De Bruyne, my favorite, Bowen, my second favorite, and then Cancelo, my third favorite. Bernardo Silva out for anyone or roll. I would just roll. Whatever Man City asset you have this week, just roll. Alev saying, love the new layout, mate. Appreciate it. I did it over the international break when I had nothing to do in terms of videos. What transfers you making? I'm making no transfers now. 40 minutes to go. I'm still locked in, not doing anything. I'm pretty much just going to keep it as it is. Our teams are very similar. I just have Johnson over Sufal and Diane over White. Digne over White. 100% Evan. That's perfectly fine to do. Then you can play Johnson and just hope that he maybe plays. Mekas with the super chat saying, got 2 free transfers. I have CR7, Silver, Mount. Who to bring? I would take Mount out and I would bring in a Crystal Palace asset. Or you can bring in Bowen if you don't have him, but you probably do. Or Jota, but I think you probably don't. You probably have both of those. And then I would probably take out Mount and then just bring in a Crystal Palace, maybe a Gallagher. He seems pretty secure. Even though he doesn't play against Chelsea, I think that's a blank game week anyway in terms of that fixture. Is Fernandez fit or should I go for Son? I'll check Twitter slightly in some more time just to maybe if we get some news, but I think he should be fine. Christian saying, how Master Dayvy, would you take Son out for KDB? Cheers from Norway. I probably wouldn't. I think I would keep Son because you'll probably take out KDB next week or the week after anyways. So just go for Son this week. Salah to punish us. Plans to get him back. So the thing about Salah that not many people realize is that he's owned by about 10% of the top 10k. Yes, that number will probably rise, but in terms of the overall rankings, unless he absolutely bangs, his effective ownership will be under 100%. So if you don't own him, you probably won't get punished as hard. So I do agree that Salah could punish us, but it won't be as bad as when I didn't captain him in game week 9. Will Foden start? Predictions have been that he will, but you never know with Pep Roulette. He's not called the bald fraud for nothing. No offense to bald people. What made you go for King over Dennis this week? Zodiac, I just thought that King has looked slightly better in terms of the stats. And if King does get a penalty, he might take it. And Edouard, I worry about him. When I watch that Watford game, he's too involved. It's almost like King does nothing. But because Dennis is so on the ball and everything and making moves, that makes him a better option and a worse option because he likes to get back, defend, as we saw with the red card, and that's what makes me a little bit worried about him. Rebuild FC Alonso not getting rid. What I want is some clarity on the upcoming doubles. There could be a potential double in Game Week 27, and I'd rather maybe just have a little bit extra time there. I'm not going to play Alonso anyway. I'm fine with starting King over defender, and the defender I wanted was Cucurella, and he blanks this week, so that's why I'm not doing the move yet. Q-Man, who would you suggest as a 4.5 goalkeeper? Defender, I'm taking out Sufal. Maybe look at a Crystal Palace defender. They have a couple of 4.5 options, great fixtures. Or maybe just look at, I don't think Aston Villa have a 4.5. I don't think so, but that's probably what I would go for. Vibes, what are you drinking, Davey? Juice? No, it's like a chocolate-flavored low-fat milk. But I think it's only available in South Africa, so that's why I think a lot of people find it quite interesting. Start Digne or Rafinha? Joe, I would say Digne slightly. I just trust that Spurs defense quite a lot. Best defender under 6 mil, I would say right now, if you want to go for a double game week player, you could look at someone like a Tierney. That's who I would probably go for. But otherwise, any of the Man City assets, if you don't care about the doubles, or an Aston Villa asset. But Peter, it's a little bit of a tough one because there's a lot of options there. Will saying Bowen over Jota captain, I'm torn. It's close between them, Will, but I slightly prefer Bowen. But I expect both of them to do well. It's just who's going to start better. Andrew Smith saying chocolate milk equals good luck. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it's going to be a good week. Please buy Arsenal. You're talking about me becoming an owner, I don't know. But if you're talking about people buying Arsenal assets, then maybe. Zodiac, are you joining me in the top 10k this week? Hopefully, brother. I hope so. I hope it's going to be a good week for us. Yeah, so Optimus Prime saying there's a very good account. Emma, I don't exactly know what her @ is. I do follow her, though, if you guys want to go check. She predicts the Man City account from the Blue Moon, which is a forum for Man City fans. And the lineup looks pretty fine. Finally, a chill deadline stream, unlike all game weeks so far this season. 100%. It looks like a nice one. Okay, so let's go check Twitter if we have any news about early team news, but I don't see anything. Couple of people captaining Salah, though, I see. That's an interesting one to go for. I don't see anything about Bruno Fernandes, so looks pretty fine. So yeah, it's a chilled week, guys. Talking about you, Wenger. I don't think I'd probably relegate Arsenal, to be honest. I don't think I can correlate my FPL skills to owning a football club. Zodiac, it is 8:07 currently, so 2 hours ahead of the UK and 1 hour ahead of most of Europe generally. Martinelli or Gray? This week I'd say Gray, but for the long term, if it's a transfer inferno, I would say Martinelli. Start Martinelli or Dennis. I would say Martinelli slightly, especially if you have a West Ham defender. But I don't think the difference between those two players should be too much. Dennis to Edouard. A kill. Now you're questioning myself because I wanted to do this move as well. But my thinking was that I'm worried about Edouard's minutes, and that's why I basically was scared of it, and that's why I've gone for it. I pulled out of it. But if you want to be courageous, then you can. Any bonus played like bench boost? No bonus. The only chip I've played is my first wildcard, but I mean, that doesn't matter. And my first free hit. So the first free hit's a major one, and that's why my strategy might be different to your guys. I'm going to captain Mo Salah, says Tyler Scott. Good luck. Nikhil, again with a super chat. So I'm going to check your messages now, Nikhil, and I'll try and catch you because you might have asked a question already. What I will do is I'm just going to go up here and maybe check if your name was mentioned. Harry Pierce saying bench one of King, Dennis or Gray. I'd bench Dennis. Nikhil. Okay, so Nikhil, I can't see, so I'll just wait for your message to pop here, and then we could potentially look. If you're just giving me super chats, I appreciate it, Nikhil, but you've probably got a thought on your mind. Banan is saying Captain Kane is a differential, 100%. He'll be a mega differential, and I actually do favor him this week. I think against Southampton, he should probably do well. What do you think about DCL? I had DCL, took him out last week for Dennis. No, for Josh King, actually. So luckily it wasn't that bad. I like DCL. I just worry about Everton, to be honest. Any chances at Jack? No chances this week, brother. Pretty boring week, to be honest. Edouard for King. I was going to do that move. I think it's a fine move to do. Just understand that Edouard could be benched or have his minutes managed. That's all I'll say. Joshua saying keep or sell Sanchez to De Gea / Saar. Joshua, if your second goalkeeper has a fine fixture, I would keep Sanchez for next week. I do really like Brighton's chances of a double clean sheet there. I know it is against United, but I think they're looking quite strong defensively. So I would keep Sanchez, but if your second goalkeeper doesn't have a great fixture, then you could always switch out. We have Shahil saying Davies or Romero. I would say Davies slightly. And Jeff Scott became a supporter. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Hopefully you enjoy your stay as a member. And if you want to see the perks, I'm working on it. I am working out the Discord server, so we'll have that up and running pretty soon. Last minute call. Salah or Bowen captain? Jean, I would say Bowen, but you're going to absolutely roast me if Salah bangs. So I say Bowen slightly, but I think that both of them will do well. It's just, I'm unsure if Salah starts. I do think he will, but I just think his minutes will be managed. Second goalkeeper is Foster, lol. I mean, they could keep a clean sheet, but I think maybe do the trans if you want to burn it. Lloyd saying Elise or Gallagher. I still like Gallagher just because he's more nailed. He's not as great of an option, but I just worry about Elise's minutes. I know he's in great form, 100%, but I think if you're going to bring in a Crystal Palace option, you want them to be nailed. And although he misses Chelsea at home, I don't think Crystal Palace will do much anyway in that fixture. Play Souček or Gray? I'd say Gray, AJ, a little bit. Souček hasn't had that attacking output. Watch him go and score a header now, though. Captain Bowen, Bruno or Son? Again, cheers from Norway. Christian, I would go for Bowen out of those. Jean saying I'll take Bowen as an underdog captain. I slightly agree with you, but if you want to go as an underdog captain, Salah's your underdog because Bowen will have an effective ownership of over 100% effective. Olaf saying Foden out for KDB. It's too sideways for me, Olaf. Lightre saying 4 minutes, 3 minutes now as you guys are watching this video. So get those teams locked in. I'll do a kind of final sweep here if you want of Twitter. Yeah, looks pretty normal. Nothing outrageous has been tweeted. Yeah, so no early team news, unfortunately, guys. We might get something with like 2 or 3 minutes, but I'm not going to make changes on that probably. Hi, Dayvy. 0432. Well done on that one. Start below or Emerson Royale? I would say Emerson Royale because of his attacking threat. Let me check if Nikhil has posted anything. So Nikhil, it might just be that you've given me super chat, so I appreciate it. Prabhu saying, are you bringing in Salah next week versus Burnley? I'll see how it goes. My worry is that he starts this week against Leicester and then he gets benched next week. That's my only worry. Jojo's Revenge saying sight down. As far as I know, no. It looks up on my side, but maybe lock those moves in if you're worried about it. Sort out bench order. I'm fine with this bench order, to be honest. I can change it if you guys want me to. I'm hoping not to have to rely on any of my bench options, though. Let's just put it that way. Peter, best defender under 6 mil. I would probably go Tierney right now for that double. De Gea in for Foster for a hit. It depends on who your second goalkeeper is, Zahir. If it's a bad option, then that's fine to do because of the double coming up. Ramsdale or De Gea to start. I think both of them get points, but I think De Gea because of the better clean sheet odds. White King over Dennis, better stats, and to me, it's kind of a 50-50 between those two. And I've just gone for King because of the higher ownership. Ronaldo bench, says Sean Diesel. That'll be quite an interesting one, to be honest. But okay, so there could potentially be no CL7. That's what I've just read here, but don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger of the messenger, because that's what the guy tweeted on Twitter. But he said it always worries me when someone puts their neck out like that and they say don't shoot the messenger. But apparently Ronaldo could be benched. That's what apparently could be happening. But I wouldn't move on that anyway, because that only means he starts both games in double game week 25. So just maybe, I mean, I don't think he'll come on anyway if he's benched. So do I captain Cancelo or Bowen? I'd go Bowen, but unfortunately, as lost numbers saying, we are locked in. Sorry guys, I got caught up a bit on Twitter there. Do apologize. But if Ronaldo's bench is one of those things, but as I said, it won't impact too much because then you'll just start both games in 25. So Rumour Diesel injured again. That'll be quite a pity for him. Shame, he seems quite injury prone at the current moment. But guys, Jordan said, click like for this, bro. Oaks, come on, go Boca. I swear you say go Boca every stream. Thank you, Dejorian Law. I appreciate it. But guys, we are locked in. I think it was a bit of a more chilled stream, this one. I think we needed it. We're kind of filtering back after this international break or this winter break into the streaming side of things. I know the videos might have been a little bit slower this week, but we'll be getting up in them before the game week 25, which would be a double, but we are looking quite strong for that. In terms of talking points, Mo Salah will be a big one if he does start against Leicester. Captaincy will be a major one in terms of De Bruyne, Bowen, Cancelo, Jota, all that good stuff. But all I can do now is wish you guys luck. Hopefully the green arrows are in our favor. Thanks again for joining me on this live stream on a Tuesday. Hopefully you guys do have a safe morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world. And I'll be seeing you guys for the content coming up shortly for Double Game Week 25. But I'm Sonny, it's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.